Hello, welcome back to another exciting episode. We hope you enjoy it. Oh, don't forget, if you could please check out our Patreon page at patreon.com/ResslerMania. We'd really appreciate it. And don't forget to subscribe. We really like seeing those numbers go up, and we appreciate everyone who has subscribed in the past, so thank you very much. Now, without further ado, on with the video. Hello, welcome back to another episode. Today we're going to go over what we do on year 2 for a core garden system. As you can see here, we have dropped down quite a bit from the first year. So this is my hand. So we went down quite a bit, about 20 inches that dropped from the first year. So if you remember, or you can go back and look, this part here, it had grass that was brought up to about this high, and then I put cardboard on, about 3 layers of cardboard, and then we put the soil on right about here. All that has now shrunk. So on year 2, what I'm doing is I'm going to put some sort of a absorbent material on the bottom. So this is about 15 inches of absorbent material. In this case, it's shredded paper. Now, I did run out of shredded paper because I filled in quite a bit, as you see. But what I'm going to do on this side, and for the rest, of course I'm going to do a little cleanup, obviously, but we're going to put in probably grass and leaves and things of that nature. But for the cardboard, of course, on the paper, all you have to do is put maybe one slab of cardboard on just to keep the soil up. But the rest of it, obviously, with when I put the grass or the leaves or whatever it is I'm going to put down here, if it's not paper, then I'm going to have to put probably 2 or 3, preferably 3, layers of cardboard on top of that yet. Because if I don't do that, then of course any grass seed or weed seed will actually wiggle its way up through the cardboard if I don't put enough cardboard on top. Now, of course, what's going to happen is those weed seeds or those grass seeds are going to germinate, and they're going to try to go up and go through the cardboard, but if you put enough cardboard on, it won't be able to slip through. So that's at least the plan. We'll see how that goes. Now, of course, that's going to, decompose, and that's going to lower a bit as well. But then next year I'll put some more in, it'll lift it up, and then probably about half that'll go down, and so on and so forth. So in about 5 years, the only thing I should have to do is put some topping on. Now, one of the things that I do when I layer my soil is I use something a little different technique. So what I do is I put some cheaper garden soil on the first layer, and then on top of that, I put the actual potting soil. And I try to use 2 different sources for that, because not all sources have the same stuff in them. Different nutrients, different minerals, those kind of things. So to help with the plant growth, I use 2 different sources. And I'll show you an example of that now. Now, the garden soil that I've come across that's pretty decent is called Just Natural Organic All-Purpose Garden Soil. Now, this stuff, especially at the end of the season, is very reasonable, and it has a lot of good stuff in it, like, worm castings and all kinds of good stuff like that. So what I do with the garden soil, again, I do the first layer like so. Now, of course, if you can get some good soil, some topsoil local, of course, do that first. Bag soil use only as a second resort. But if you're like me and you don't have a good organic source in the area, you kind of have to resort to bags. And with the bags, before you throw them away or use them for some other repurpose, just use it kind of like a big glove. Spread it out. Make sure you got all the corners. And there you have it. And you just keep filling out this first layer. Try to give yourself only a couple inches, okay? Because you're going to put another layer on top, and I'll show you how to do that in a moment. Now for the top layer, most of the time I use my own mix, but sometimes I'll put other potting soil on top of it, especially if I can get some really good potting soil for cheap. Now this stuff, Dr. Earth, it's the Pot of Gold premium soil. It's the potting soil. Always try to put a loam, a very small particle loam soil on top. Again, if you can make it yourself, great, which most of the time I do. But if you can get a hold of something like this, that's cheap, do it that way. Now this normally goes for about 12 bucks for a 1.5 cubic bag. But if you get them at the end of the season, like I did at the end of last season, this was 4 bucks a bag. So, not bad at all. So what you do, just like the garden soil that I put on earlier, dump it out. Spread it out. And it's okay if you go a little bit above the edges of the bed, because after a while it is going to seep down just a little bit. So you're okay with that, unless you're going to go ahead and, you know, seed it right away. Then of course you should do it level. But at this point, I'm just going to bring it up a little bit so it'll settle in a couple weeks when I'm ready to plant. And that's it. And you do that for the rest of the bed, and you're ready to go. Thank you for watching. If you liked what you saw, please give me a thumbs up. And also, comment below. And remember, I'm on Patreon, patreon.com/ResslerMania. And of course, I am on Facebook under ResslerMania Gardening. And as always, have a great day.